So what we know is you can't buy your way into AI, right? Hi, I'm Michelle Lawless, Vice President of Media Minefield.
Hi, I'm Kristi Piehl, CEO and founder at Media Minefield.
And today we're here to talk about executive reputation and the impact that it has on investor confidence, on employees, on your brand reputation, and why you need to start controlling your executive reputation. We're going to start with why. Why does it matter, Kristi?
It is one of my favorite topics, and we have been talking about this here for like 10 years. We have a trademark process around it, literally wrote a book about it, and finally, Michelle, the world is listening. Finally, people are validating that this is critically important. It's in my inbox all the time. I talk to leaders across the country about this. We've seen the impact, we've seen the results, and now it's the top of everyone's mind because AI search results are building an online reputation for leaders, and people are making decisions. Buy decisions, should I work there decisions, should I go and make some important investment in my time or my resources based on the people leading the charge. The article that hit my inbox today, your CEO has an AI profile. Did you build it or did the algorithm? So what we're talking about is making sure that when someone searches an executive, they search a leader, that the algorithm is serving up what you want and that the reputation and the narrative is controlled and determined as opposed to letting a machine search the internet and decide what is relevant, because that is so dangerous.
Yes, I saw the same article because every day I look at what's trending in our industry, what are people talking about, and you cannot go one day without seeing an article about CEO and executive reputation right now. We have been talking about this forever, and consumer behavior has changed a lot in the past few years. So now we're talking about it because AI has come into the picture, but consumers are your buyers, your employees. They've cared about who's leading the company for years. And I think finally we're seeing people start to understand why this is so important. It is super important, and that means that you have to have a proactive strategy in order to control your narrative.
Which means that you have to figure out a way to determine what your executive reputation is now.
And so we created a proprietary executive reputation audit here, figuring out how we can get the information that we need about an executive and that consumers and your ideal stakeholders are going to find when they're searching for you. How can we get that information to surface so that we can then see how an executive is doing? And it covers a few kind of basic things, but really important things. What are your key messages? What is surfacing about how are you showing up? What are you saying? What do people think is important to you as the CEO or executive? That's where it all starts.
It's important to understand that what has happened in the past is going to show up and influence the present and will influence the future. So if you have a really common name, and I hear this a lot,
Yes.
There's so many people out there with the same name, that's fine. But if someone is going to search for you by your name, they're probably also going to include the name of your company, the industry, the city you live in, other organizations that you may be associated with. And the more that someone is strategically connecting the name of the person, the name of the business, the name of the industry, and putting that out into the world more regularly, AI will be able to figure out, okay, this is the person I'm talking about. And you have run these executive reputation audits that you talked about on a lot of different leaders, our clients and others. And when you were testing it, you tested mine.
I did.
And I have a lot of help, and I have a lot of really smart people around to make sure that my reputation is great. And still you found that I
was
could
the
do
best
better.
one that I've run to date. I'm just gonna say.
And there was room to improve.
And there's always room to improve, right?
What I love about when you ran mine is I said, but you were like, it's such a good one. And I was like, but how can we make it better? And there was something that you suggested to make it better, and that influenced the strategy that marketing has put out there to make sure that it is dictating and helping us make decisions about where we should spend our time, our money, and our energy so that we are strategically leveraging the power that is AI.
So what we know is you can't buy your way into AI, right? You can only earn it. It relies on earned and owned media. And these, in case you don't really understand, this is what the foundation of PR is and has been since it started. We're looking at, in the AI audit, across these different kind of avenues, the earned media opportunities. We want to see, where are you showing up in earned media? That's a part of our audit. And that means like what type of outlets are talking about you. That could be speaking engagements. I mean, speaking engagements can help build your AI profile. And then we're looking at owned media. So owned media is your website, your company blogs, and then shared media. Shared media is our social media, right? It's our LinkedIn, which is, if you are not active on LinkedIn, you are way behind. It's the number 2 most cited source. Please be active on LinkedIn if you are a leader.
Don't let AI write your LinkedIn copy.
Oh God, don't do that.
AI will tell you not to do that. It can make your copy better.
Yes.
But to show up authentically and to show up vulnerably and to show up as a human being requires human thought. And if you want to be a thought leader, you actually have to think.
Yes. I just read a really interesting article about how thought leadership, everybody, AI, in the age of AI, everybody thinks and wants to be a thought leader, right? And it seems like it's super easy, but it's not. The piece that we want in actual, and the piece that AI can't replicate, is the human experience. And the human experience is here's my personal story. Here's what I personally experienced about this topic. AI doesn't and can't replicate that.
The thing that can be scary or can be really a benefit, and I would argue is a benefit, is that AI values recency.
Yes.
So if you did earned media or owned media 12, 18 months ago, that might have worked in an SEO-driven world. It isn't going to perform as well in an AI-driven world. So it's critically important that your PR strategies are a little bit of this, a little bit of this, a little bit of this. You can't go all in on one thing and just let it sit and then come back to it a year later. You will lose. So having a repertoire and having a toolkit of the different PR strategies is going to move AI faster and allow you to control the results more quickly.
I think one of the other things that we hear, and I know you've heard this, is, well, it's about my business. It's not about me.
Almost every room that I'm in, or if it's a bigger stage and people come up to me afterward, that is the comment I hear probably more than any other. And what I tell folks is that worked well 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. There is this concept that, gosh, if I just put my head down and do the work, people will take notice. And I admire that. I was raised that way. I get it. That just isn't how the world works right now. And as more and more Gen Z and Gen Alpha folks are coming into the world, they really care about who they're working for. And in some cases, they care more about who they're working for than where they're working. And they expect to have information about their leadership. And you can determine, leaders, how much information you give them. And if you don't, they're going to turn to their own searching or to AI to figure out who you are and what you stand for. And gosh, a reputation is too valuable to leave to a machine.
And dare I say, for those who really care about their business, this move is all about your business. If you are not doing this move, you are not securing the future of your business because it matters that much. I think the most recent stat is up to 50% of a company's valuation is based on the executives, the CEOs, the prominent leaders' reputation. That's how important these two things tie together, your business goals and your executive reputation.
So if we think about the takeaways of our conversation, and so number one, executives are influencers.
Yes.
Influencers are not just paid folks who are getting brand deals and sponsored content. Executives have a lot of influence. And when I talk to when I talk to executive influencers, I tell them, gosh, if you tell an intern that they're doing a great job, or if another intern tells an intern they're doing a great job, it feels different because a leader, a CEO, a C-suite person has a different level of influence. So that translates into a digital world.
Mm-hmm.
So think of yourselves executives as executive influencers. It changes how you show up.
Here's the really lovely part. You can ask AI what you could do to improve your reputation. AI is going to help you. It will give you some good information. Some of the things that I've seen come out are talking about where you're showing up. Again, Kristi talked about it. It's the consistent earned media. You need to be seen as a thought leader and an expert in your industry, and that has to be consistent. Recency really matters. So I've seen a lot of that coming up. Podcasts, we know how great podcasts are. So thinking about what is your podcast strategy? There is also a lot of power in some different and newer outlets like Substack, for instance. So thinking about how you're showing up across these different platforms, AI can help you with that. We've said it before, I'm going to say it again. You have to have a consistent LinkedIn posting strategy. Otherwise, you cannot own your executive reputation. And then you should be doing your own social blogs that can be posted on LinkedIn Pulse. They can be on your company website as well. Those are also a critical component to owning your executive reputation.
Someone on your marketing team, someone in the agency you're working with should be regularly auditing your reputation so that your reputation is something that you're writing, not AI.
Hi.
Cut!